Good day, everyone. Welcome to this week's edition of the Vise Squad, brought to you by Token's Fly Shop and the Andraminus Fly Company. New sponsor to us. This week, continuing from last week when we did the Copper Swan, this week we're going to do this little flashback, hare's ear, red bead, hotspot head. Little fly is on a size 10, 2 extra heavy scud hook, and we're going to put a 532 red, in this case, tungsten bead on it. So we get that in the vise. I'm going to start out with some 70 denier UTC in black. I'm going to run that down the band a ways. Get rid of that tag. We won't run it into the bend too far, just because we're going to have a tail on it, and it'll sit quite funny. And for that tail, we're going to use some deer hair that I've already pre-stacked, so you don't have to listen to me banging and clanging and shaking the camera. So we'll make that tail maybe about the width of the hook gap. Put a couple, 2 or 3 loose turns in there just to see where we're at. I'm pretty happy with that. And then I'm just going to loosely work my way forward. Trying not to flare it out, otherwise it'll just make it a little more difficult and harder to manage. Get up to the front, we'll snip all those butts out. Now we'll go back with some nice tight binding wraps. Back down to where we tied it in. I'm going to put a couple of wraps underneath just to help flare it up a little. And we'll just use some cleanup wraps just to kind of get it all evened out. Right. So we're going to use wire ribbon this, and this is hot yellow, ultra wire in brassy. And I'm going to tie that in down far side or your side of the hook. Because we're dubbing the body, I don't really need to worry about being all even or anything, because it's all going to be hidden anyway. And then we're going to grab some Mylar. This is pearl Mylar, size 12, I do believe. Size 12 or 1/16, depending on what your brand you're using. It's all measured differently, it seems. And we'll tie that in. We'll want to tie it in right on top of that hook. Make sure our thread goes right to the end of our tail. Right. Now we're going to put some dubbing on, and today we're going to use some possum dubbing I got recently. Similar to hare's ear, this stuff's just a little darker. Equally as buggy and fibrous. Everything else I just preferred the color, so that's why I went with it. Just dub some on our thread. We'll start wrapping forward. I do want to make a bit of a tapered body so you don't get a weird bump when you get to the bead. Just take your time building it up. Add just a little more here. One more little clip to finish it off. There we go. Now we'll leave our thread up behind the bead. Next we'll grab that Mylar. We'll stretch it forward. And do your best to keep it right on the very top of the back. And we'll slide around on you a little bit. It's pretty slippery stuff. Once we have that tied in nice and we have it where we want it, reach in there and snip it out. Next we'll grab that wire and I'm going to make one wrap around the tail. And then I'll start making my wraps forward. And just do nice evenly spaced wraps best you can. And we'll tie it off behind the bead. Wind that out of there. Next, I'm going to grab just another little pinch of the dubbing, just to hide all that material we've tied in there. And that's that. We'll grab our whip finish tool. We'll tie a knot in it. And we're done. Very simple little fly. That 532 tungsten is going to get you down where they want them. And that's that. If you want to, you can reach in there too with a little dubbing brush. This is just some Velcro on a popsicle stick that a good friend of mine gave me. It is the handiest little thing for picking out dubbing. Give it that buggy look. Like that. Very simple. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, please hit the like button and the bell to get all the reminders. If you're new to the channel, please hit the subscribe button. We do appreciate you folks watching. Please check out the online store, fishingandoutdoors.ca, and you can see all of our sponsors' products on there. You can buy them all through the store, and it doesn't cost you any more, but it helps us out a little. So until next week, folks, take care. We're getting to that time of year where I am, where the water's starting to open up, ice is going, so we'll be out fishing sooner than later, I think now. Until next week, thanks again.